Hey guys, so today is Vitamin C Day. I come up to George Washington Center for Integrative Health to receive infusions for vitamins. And I'm here with Aleah, and I'm going to interview her very briefly, but I just kind of want to give a quick backstory. I've been coming up here for a year for treatment, and much longer prior to that, but this team has been really amazing to me in my healing process of just life in general. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Aleah a few questions about acts of kindness and gratitude, because today is our subject day, and that's what our subject is, and so I want to just kind of briefly talk to her and ask her what that means to her. So, hi! So, Aleah, can you give me an example of when you went above and beyond as far as an act of service here at your job?
So I remember one time in particular where we had a specific patient who had just realized she was being diagnosed with cancer at that moment. Like, they were looking at her lab. She didn't want to accept it though. We kind of all knew she had cancer for a while, but she didn't want to accept it. She would come for like acupuncture and all different other types of modalities. So finally she got hooked up for IV. So she was deadly afraid of IV. She hated needles. She had a really tough time with doctors in the past who traumatized her. So I hooked her up. Everything was smooth, and then there was a doctor in the room, and then it was like her therapist in the room. They both left me because they said they have to go look at the results. She was terrified. Like, I felt it in her. I felt it through my body. I felt her energy. I felt everything. And she started crying. And at that moment, it's very hard, you know, when you're in that situation of what to do. So I actually just gave her a hug, and I held her for a really, really, really long time. Like, and I think that was more personal than anything else I could have done. There was no words to be said. You know, we both know what happened, but that was all we could do. And I think that went above more than anything else I've done here. It's like being there for someone and being personal with somebody, understanding you might not be going through it, but they're going through it. You have to actually relate to people. That's the one act of kindness I could think of.
Yeah, and that's a really good one. I think just in general, we go through life, you know, just an act of kindness of paying for someone's coffee, you know, in line. Like, these things are very, very helpful. But you being in the industry that you're in, and people need that extra little bit of love. Yeah. Did that patient end up coming back to you later? Yeah, and what did she say to you?
She did. She was so excited. She wasn't a woman of too many words, but she was so excited to see me every time she saw me. She wasn't emotional, but you know, that was just the first time I saw her cry. She wasn't an emotional lady, but that day, I don't know, after that we just had a bond that nobody else really understood. Like, every time I saw her, I was just so happy to see her. She was so happy to see me. Yeah.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing. And just that simple act of love, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you said, you didn't know what to do. Who knows what to do? Yeah. You know, when I used to come up here with Lisa, and there were times I'm in this situation where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do? But sometimes you don't. You know what? That's the point, is that we're not supposed to come up with all the answers. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a simple act of love, or giving someone a hug, or even smiling at them. And that moment that you hugged her and gave her love, that's probably all she needed. Not all the answers like, oh, it's going to be okay, you're going to fight this, whatever, whatever, whatever. We don't need to speak sometimes. Sometimes we just need to be, right? Just stop and be. And then my last question is, based off of that act, what can you list, like, maybe 2 or 3 things of gratitude? Like, what were you grateful for after that moment with her and after that bond?
I'm grateful to be put in a position like this where I am able to do this and, you know, be here for people and be able to actually give people love who need it, where, you know, not all clinics are like this, where you're going to come and the nurse is going to give you a hug. It doesn't work like that. You know, most of the time it's like, I'm sorry to hear about that, you know. next patient. So
Right.
I'm glad I'm here and I can help people. And I'm glad for my health, you know. I'm glad that I'm here and healthy.
And being that strong, stable, person to be able to give that healthy.
To be mentally stable to do this.
Right.
It's hard working with those type of patients where you don't know when their last day is going to be.
Right.
But you know their whole family, and it's tough. So I'm happy.
But it's beautiful at the same time. You know what I mean? And then will you just briefly, like, just describe like your certifications, like. You went to college. Like, what is your title in your career here at Integrative Health?
I'm the lab manager here. I'm a phlebotomist. I have my license in phlebotomy. I'm actually in nursing school at University of Maryland. I plan on graduating December 2020.
Nice.
I'll be done soon. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, and you've really enjoyed. And what was the reasoning for you to get into nursing school? Like, what was your motivation?
I love helping people. All my life I wanted to be in the medical field. I love what I do. I love my job. I complain about the hours sometimes. I absolutely love it. I can't imagine doing anything else but helping people. I just love it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Aleah. And thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.